What is currently happening that is scaring you? I had a kidney transplant 2 weeks ago and just got a 9 p.m. call that my lab numbers look like I might have internal bleeding. I'm scared I'm going to lose my new kidney before I've even healed. I'm so sorry and I hope it all turns out okay for you. A recent medical test showed I have high levels of arsenic in my body. Yet it's not in my water nor has it been since I've lived in my current location. Do you eat rice? Arsenic is highly water-soluble and rice paddies in some areas are notorious for poisoning via absorption from irrigation. I believe it's brown rice specifically. So if Omp is eating brown rice more than 2 to 3 times a week, it could be contributing to his arsenic levels. Brown rice 2 to 3 times per week. Uh-oh. You eat brown rice every day as well, don't you? Arsenic bro, high five. Edit. Actually looking into it, this doesn't seem to be a concern in my country where we have strong consumer protection laws. Thank God. Wikipedia says it's an issue in the US, though. Ha, guess who is laughing now? After all the shit I got for eating the unhealthier rice. An eater of the superior white rice. I've been out of work for about a year with back issues and I'm damn near broke. Like, really broke. As in maybe homeless at my advanced age. Back problems have spiked in America in the last few decades and the medical community has no idea why back problems have suddenly become so prevalent. The worst part is no doctor knows how to effectively treat back problems and there are hardly any consensus on effective treatment. Join us at /r/backpain and welcome to the club. All I know is that I had to learn how to decompress my own spine at home using a Roman chair, otherwise the pain would have eaten me alive by now. People spend more time sitting now than ever before. Programmer here, who had to have a crushed disc removed between my L3 and L4. I am older, but there are many colleagues much younger who have back issues. I've been hearing and seeing things that aren't there. I've been chalking it up to stress, but I'm starting to think I may be going crazy. It's pretty scary. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned mental health evaluation, my friend. I think you'll find that an answer will bring you peace. Don't be afraid to get checked out. Edit to add. If your mental health needs a band-aid today, here's a pick-me-up. How do I go about getting one? I think it's about time for one, but don't know where to go. Call your insurance company and ask what psychologists are in network with them. Set up an appointment with that psychologist. Keep in mind it can take a few weeks to a few months to get a spot, but be patient. It's worth it. A psychologist will talk to you about what's going on and help you understand it a bit better. If they think medication may help you feel better, they'll recommend you to a psychiatrist that they trust. A psychiatrist has a doctorate and is allowed to prescribe that medication. If you don't have insurance, call your state's social services. Tell them you want help finding free or low-cost mental health services. They'll point you in the right direction. And if at any time you feel like you may hurt yourself or someone else because of what's going on, go to an ER, specifically one for psychiatric care if you can. Again, ask your insurance for a list of ERs that are in network so that you don't end up owning tens of thousands. Never ask a hospital. They will always say yes. Good luck, my friend. Be strong. My son, who turned 18 last week, is making the most horrible life decisions. He's going to wind up in jail or dead. I'm so scared for him and of him. My ex-wife's brother went down that road. His friend group was abysmal. Made awful choices with drugs. Knew him for 9 years, almost 10. From 18 to 21 he went straight downhill and his parents tried to pray it out of him instead of seeking professional help. A year after her and I divorced, his father found him dead of an overdose in his bedroom. Sometimes I wish I had tried harder to be there to help him. I tried to talk him into the military or anything to get him away from that shit group of people. He just wouldn't bite. R.I.P. buddy. This may be his way of calling out for help. In my experience, I have done, and still do, dumb, unlawful things just to feel something. Also, because I just don't care what happens to me anymore. The adrenaline rushes are numbing, right? Sometimes I say to myself, if people knew about this, I'd be in fucking jail. And it hurts to think about how my family would be affected. But 21 years of emotional abuse from my family and uncles didn't help. I have terminal cancer. I don't want to die. Lost my mom to breast cancer 2 years ago after 5 years of fighting a disease that should have killed her in under 2. Her motto was don't stop. Set a goal that you can complete in a couple of months. Hit that goal and have another waiting. Do all the shit you need to do and smash your bucket list. Don't let it get a hold over you. It is your body. You own it. Do all the things. Death comes for us all. But that doesn't mean you have to lay down and take it. Get out there and fight. Godspeed, you shitty monkey. May you fling poo for years to come. Turning 30 soon. Time feels like it has sped up since high school. I blink and the years seem to fly by. Makes me contemplate life and what I should spend my time and focus on. Squeezing the most out of things while I still have my youth. I feel like I'm going to blink again and be turning 50. Yep, that's how it goes. I just turned 30 about a year or two ago and now I'm 38, 32 here and my daughter is due in September. Our first child. I feel this time warp effect already and it weighs on my mind like some kind of weird FOMO. How bad is time going to warp once most of my time outside of work will now be put towards the development and care of my child instead of pursuing my bucket list? Don't get me wrong. I am thrilled and excited to be a father. No resentment. I do think this will make the time warp worse, though. As someone that is a little further into where you are, I find that your bucket list changes to include your child, but it's still every bit as fulfilling. My friend is being physically abused but is trying to reconcile and stay with the abuser. I struggle when I see my friends in relationships with abusive people, and from the outside it can seem so easy to just leave. It makes you question their sanity. How can they stay with a person they so obviously know is bad for them? But being on the other side of it as well, you don't realize how bad it actually is till you're out. You justify their behavior or they gaslight you into believing what they're doing is reasonable. It might be hard, but you should probably emotionally separate yourself from the situation. Of course, provide your friend whatever support they need. But don't become so wrapped up in it that it overshadows your own life. Step in only if there's an emergency. I'm speaking from experience. Too often I get so emotionally invested in my friends' struggles, particularly in regard to abusive relationships, unfortunately, that I become overwhelmed and stop taking care of myself. Much love to you and your friend. This is good advice. To add, don't get wrapped up in it. But never drop that friend. That's what the abuser wants you to do. Less dissenting voices, more isolation for their partner equals more control for them. You don't have to actively get involved in their arguments. You don't have to offer unsolicited advice. But you know that's not right and, well, I'm always here for you. Can make a world of difference to the abused. Laid off a few months ago. Severance ends soon and I keep getting rejected on new prospects. Trying to get into new roles since my experience is a bit niche and I've exhausted those options. Feel like a failure and don't know what I'll do if I can't find something soon. The only thing I can offer is, your work may seem niche but I am sure there are ways to cross it over into other things if you have to. I found a career that I enjoy immensely on accident. Edit. Good luck whichever way. Could you elaborate please? Think about your work in a more detailed way. What skills do you possess? Which jobs, careers do these apply to? For example, There are many uses for the ability to melt rods. Welding is quite handy for putting two pieces of metal together or taking them apart. Melting glass rods allows you to make drug paraphernalia or decorative lamps. This can be extended to glue rods for arts and crafts. Once you realize that melting things in general is a skill, you can be real flexible. Melt yourself into the shape of a new rod.